The following podcast is an enticing media production. Thank you for listening to this podcast. You are now socially obligated to pour yourself a drink, and welcome to the Drunk Squirrel.
Well, it's definitely good costume. You don't want to show up. That's your costume?
Not mine personally. That's the company's. But enough people have looked and said, so wait, is this a thing you... and I've done it once.
Wow. I'm interested to... I don't know if I'll be able to talk you into a ho-ho-ho, but I'm interested. Do you do that when you're...
Yeah.
Did you do that? Okay.
Yeah. Are we recording or are you still...
No, we're definitely recording.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was going to say there was some gold in that, but...
There was a little bit of gold in that, I think.
But you didn't have your headphones on.
Well, I do now.
I was so confused. You were about to throw them out the window.
Well, I couldn't get the window open fast enough.
No, don't worry. He does not have his headphones on again. It's all good.
Yes. I do have my headphones on again. Don't get me in trouble with the producer.
Yeah, come on. I got to try.
I'm just saying, don't get me in trouble with the producer.
I got to try.
I know you do. All right. Well, I guess this is
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, by the way. This episode is dropping New Year's Day.
And I don't know what condition you're expecting to be in, or you, our wonderful listeners, are in, but hang on, maybe pour a bigger cup of coffee and sneak a shot of something in there.
I don't know exactly what condition I plan to be in. I don't know exactly where I'm going to be. We haven't decided that 100%. We talked about doing a little travel for Christmas, and then we kind of decided against that because it's super expensive.
No, yeah.
But, I found a couple of cheap flights to Nashville over New Year's, so we could end up in Nashville for a couple of days. I'm not sure.
So the show you guys did on Thursday, and you were going through and listing kind of some of the spots you wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Melinda's sitting there and she goes, that's like everywhere we've been talking about wanting to go to this past year. Okay.
Oh, well, and it's great minds think alike.
Well, apparently. I mean, maybe we should have a podcast.
Maybe we should have a podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, do we have one?
I don't know.
What have I been editing for the last year?
I don't know.
It's interesting. Nell posted just a story last night we went to Lebanon Valley Craft Brewery.
Yeah.
And they had the Maine lobster food truck there, the one that the originators of the food truck were on Shark Tank. And they have it's like franchise now where you can, be part of the franchise and stuff. And there's one here in Central PA, and she posted a photo with it, and that we were there and we had the food, and that she said, now I need to plan a trip to Maine. There's already people texting us this morning asking about going to Maine. I'm like, seriously?
I think the furthest north I've been is Rhode Island.
I'll go to Maine, but I don't want to go in the dead of winter.
I kind of want to go in a multitude of seasons. I want to see fall, and I want to see winter up there.
Yeah, fall would be really cool. Winter, you better have a snowmobile from what I hear, especially if you get north.
I would love to.
So, that would be pretty fun.
Snow, and the more the better.
Yeah.
I love it.
That would be fun. Apparently, we're going to have one hell of a group going to Maine because everybody wants to go. I didn't realize so many people wanted to go to Maine.
Well, there's where enticing media branches out to.
So
bus tours.
Yeah, we're gonna rent a big old house in Maine somewhere, and apparently go stay there.
Hey,
with a bunch of people.
Absolutely. There you go.
So we've done that before. We went to Punta Cana. The first time we went to Punta Cana in Dominican Republic, we went with a hodgepodge of people. Not really a hodgepodge, but some of which didn't really know each other. And they met on the trip.
Oh, that's wild.
And, we had a blast. It was I don't know how this is going to go. And it was fun.
There's a stress to that for me where it's okay, how are the dynamics going to be? Is this going to be like that weird couple that by the end of it, we're plotting their murder? Are we going to be that couple? I see that definitely feels stressful to some degree.
I had a little stress because the common denominator of the group was Nell and I. So, yeah, that's so I had a little bit. I mean, not a lot of stress because it's like, how bad could it be? You're going to a
but I mean, if the whole thing melts down, they're all looking at you like, why do you hate us?
It went very well. So,
well, good.
Yeah. So, anyway, this is the very first episode of season 2.
Yes.
Guess we should have addressed that, but we will now.
And to be very clear and upfront, I mean, season 2 is definitely starting with us unattended again.
It is.
With microphones.
Yes.
And alcohol. And the only lesson we learned was we had to have headphones on from the last time.
Yes, which I do. Rob was trying to get me in trouble, but I have headphones on. So
what headphones, Ken?
Don't go there. Remember, I am going to the mall today.
Yeah. Well, you know you have to get a picture with Santa.
I'll come by and see you. I'll come say hello.
I'll tell you what, it is pretty wild, and it's neat doing it. And I know who I am. I'm the cheap mall Santa, but it's fun.
Yeah. Well, okay. Since we went there, Rob, tell the people what you're doing.
So I have only done it once, but I've got a whole bunch of dates and times all the way up through Christmas, and I am the mall Santa for our local mall, and I honestly only did it for an hour last night. They told me, show up at this time so we can get the suit figured out, and had that figured out, and then they had to set up for almost 2 hours. I was supposed to be out in that 2-hour window, and I was only able to get out for an hour. But it was really cool.
Was last night the first night?
Yeah, last night was the first night of it.
Okay. So they were looking for a mall Santa. What was their plan had you not called them?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's fair.
The only reason I'm involved with it is Melinda saw it on Facebook that they had posted, hey, we need a Santa. She's like, hey, you always joke, this is your retirement career. Put your money where your mouth is. And it's, oh, crap. Well, okay.
You're just getting a head start on retirement. A big head start on retirement.
I wish it was financially. Yes, I am, but that's not going to be a thing. But no, I mean, it was fun. It was a neat night. It was a weird process getting there, and there are some stories that maybe down the road I will share.
It's a good story, but we're not sharing it today.
I got to work on the telling of it a bit better. But yeah, it was. There's some neat moments from it. I mean, walking through the mall and watching how people interact.
Yeah,
it's different how they interact with you in that suit, and even the kids. The kids were fun.
Oh, I mean, that's what it's for.
Yeah, and just they light up in a different way, and
yeah.
I'm in youth ministry. I'm good with kids, so I'm interacting with them as Santa, and I'm hoping they're walking away feeling like it's genuine.
I'm sure. I mean, well, you sent photos.
Yeah.
Yesterday, which I think we need to. I'm gonna allow you to do this because this is your gig, but I think we should, and also do it before this episode airs because this is gonna be after Christmas. But we need to share a couple of your photos in the Drunk Squirrel Facebook group.
Well, you said you're stopping by.
I am,
and I've already talked to the photographer.
Okay.
And she's, we're gonna get a picture.
Okay.
You and I.
All right.
So
I'll be there this afternoon, or probably, noonish or so, whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm starting right at noon, but yes.
So I'll be there in that range. I will also warn you that Craig knows now. So Craig and I may or may not be planning a visit at some point.
Which is entirely fine.
That would be fun.
There's going to be a little bit of harassment from Santa.
Well, it has to be. I would expect. I think there'll be a little bit of harassment
both ways
for Santa from Craig. I actually saw Craig yesterday. He texted me and he said coffee emergency. So he got to the office and Angie said, I only had enough coffee to make half a pot today.
Oh no.
And he freaked out. He's texting me, calling me, has to get this coffee. And so he brings me a wrapped present when he picks it up at my office. And I'm like, oh boy.
This could be anywhere from like something amazing to a pile of dog crap.
Right. But I asked him, I said, is something going to fly out of here when I open the box or unwrap it? He said, nothing's going to fly out. And unlike true Craig fashion, it was a coffee mug that said, support your local caffeine dealer.
Nice.
So it's a cool mug. So it's now going to be my work coffee mug.
That's a pretty good mug. Yeah.
Keep it right there. And I have a work mascot as well. He brought me, or the girls brought me a rubber ducky from Ireland when they were in Ireland. I think it was over the summer.
All right, I have to ask, what is it with rubber ducks? Like, I know there's a rubber duck thing that you have.
I like to take baths as opposed to showers. I do like obviously I shower. I don't take baths all the time, but I like baths, and I like I like a good bubble bath. And people started buying me rubber ducks because they started to know that I like to take bubble baths, and that's where it came from. People started buying them, and next thing you know, it's not like crazy or out of hand, but I don't know. I probably have a dozen, 15. I have 4 or 5 in the bathroom right now because they're Christmas ones, so they're out like on the counter and stuff. So,
all right, so
that's where it came from.
Okay, I was trying to look this up while you were saying, and I don't know where it is at the moment. But have you seen that giant rubber duck? There's a giant rubber duck. For like 6 months, it was parked in Three Rivers by Heinz Field.
Oh, really? Like, so it's like
the size of your house, giant rubber duck.
Does it drive, or is it
no,
pulled?
it's
it just sits there.
It floats.
Oh, it floats.
Yeah. So they parked it in the rivers.
I got you.
They anchored it there, and I think it actually got damaged while it was there. But it pops up every now and then. And the last place it was in the Chesapeake. I don't know where it is now.
Oh, that would be cool to see.
Yeah.
That would be really, really fun to see. There's a store in have you been to Cape May?
New Jersey?
Yeah.
Yes, a long time ago.
There's they don't have a boardwalk per se. It's like a cobblestone type of street that's like in like right in downtown basically, and all their little shops and things like that.
Yeah.
Where there's a little shop there called Bath Time. And they have like all sorts of bath products, but they have tons of like rubber ducks, and they have like an old clawfoot bathtub sitting in the store, and it's filled with rubber ducks.
Nice.
And so it's like a joke. We have to go in there every time we go to Cape May because, we enjoy Cape May. So. And
does Kenny get a little rubber duck every time?
I don't every time because honestly, people started buying me rubber ducks, and it's like, I don't know how many of these things I need. Like a lot of times they just stay under the, the cabinet most times.
So we did an event at the church. This was in August. And as part of that event, I bought several hundred rubber ducks. And Craig and I had a plan that was left from those rubber ducks. We were going to sneak over to your pool and dump them in the pool.
I can't. If you would have done that, it'd been awesome.
They all disappeared. The kids took every rubber duck.
Oh, I thought
that's how many
kids
they
got stolen.
No. That's how many kids we had.
That's crazy.
Like, I climbed up to the top of this giant water slide that Craig had rented, and we set up in the church lot. And I dumped them down the slide so the kids could run around and get them. We had so many kids, we had no rubber ducks left.
If I'd have come home and saw that, it would have been totally awesome.
It may still happen.
But, so, yeah, next year, I'm going to expect at some point my pool to be filled with rubber ducks.
I definitely feel like that's okay, hold my drink, I'll be back.
I can't.
Challenge accepted.
I can't wait. I'm actually really pumped for the pool next year because it's not like, look, guys, when I say pool, it's also not like $100,000 pool. It's a pool that we put up ourselves. It's every bit of everything that we need. And we threw it up last year, did a few things around it. It was sort of like a test, and it passed. But this year we want to do a little bit more landscaping around it and have Shorty put a little sitting area like off the deck, and have like somewhere you could like, so if somebody wanted to like, sit there and hang their feet in the water or something like that, you could do that. It really you weren't able to do that this past year or so, but it was cool.
You see, now you're underplaying it. You are. Just a simple pool is a really great thing. We got one in the middle of pandemic, just one of those like Intex float ring pools.
Oh, yeah. We had one of those first.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not like, oh, wow, this is an amazing pool. They're just it's a bag of water.
It's a bag of water.
That's all it is, really. It's a giant bag that floats.
I have never heard anybody call a pool a bag of water.
I almost said sack and then went, no, it's too early.
Okay. Yeah, a bag of water. Fair enough.
But, I mean, we got one of those during pandemic. Gosh, it had to be, I think we found it in, like, May.
They were hard to find during the pandemic.
Yeah. We got lucky. We found one. We set it up in the backyard. And just having that, we had it up for 2 seasons before the thing disintegrated.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a huge piece for us of, okay, you know what? We can go into the backyard. And our backyard really became a sanctuary for us in that time.
Backyard, you can really do a lot of things with them. And it doesn't have to be a ton of money.
No, I mean, we had a fire ring and the pool. And we set up a little cinder block. Wow. Garden. And
yeah.
I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
It is still great. We got to attack the garden this spring, but
get yourself, another pool.
We've talked about it.
Something in between like that, and then what we have, because what we have is like, it's a pretty good sized pool.
So I can say this because we have talked about it, and this episode is coming out after Christmas. So if my kids hear it, I don't care anymore. And the thought was, yeah, okay, maybe we do look into that. Maybe that's what we do this spring. But what we went and did instead is we bought family passes to Hershey Park.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's, you know what? We've got access to the water park there. There's a pool that we go down to called Refreshing Mountains at a camp.
Is there still a pool in Myerstown?
There is.
There is, okay.
And we've been warned off of that pool a couple of times. Just crowds, lifeguards.
Yeah.
A few other things.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there are 2 pools that we go to. Well, we'll have access to the water park at Hershey Park this year. We've got the pool at Refreshing Mountain. And yeah, I would like it, but it's not going to be worth it.
Yeah. Refreshing, is that a campground?
Yeah, it's a campground.
Okay. So do you guys go camp there or just go up to the pool?
We have talked about going camping there because they've got a whole nice facility with a nice ropes course and all kinds of stuff up there.
Let's camp there this spring or summer.
It is a nice little spot.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, we did that.
Melinda, you heard that. Let's start planning.
Yeah, we did that camping video on our YouTube channel down in Frontier Town.
All right, well, let me rephrase. It's not camping.
Oh.
It's like cabin camping.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, we can do that too.
Oh, I figured you'd be.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do either one. But I've been looking for an excuse to buy a tent, and it just hasn't come up yet.
So we tried camping early on as a family, shortly after we moved out here.
The look on your face tells me it didn't go well.
I'm an old Boy Scout.
Oh.
Towards the end of my scouting career, I even gave up on tents. I just had my sleeping bag and a poncho and a cot, and I would sleep out under the stars.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's where I got to with my camping, where it was, you know what, it's easy that way.
Yeah.
But we decided, hey, we're going to go up to Knoebels. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go up there. We'll camp. We'll do a day or 2 in Knoebels. We'll have fun. Everybody does this in this area. So we went, and we lasted 1 night at the campground.
So, okay, what happened?
Yeah, we were probably about 20 yards from the wood line, which started freaking people out. And, you had to walk, it was like a 1/4 mile to the bathrooms, and it was one of those cinder block bathrooms that if you're not used to, they can weird you out.
It's not glamorous.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a latrine, hole in the ground with a metal bucket that you're hovering over.
Yeah.
And it wigged people out.
It's not for everyone.
No. Now, the thing I'm excited about is Ray's into scouting right now and getting into camping. So I'm like, yes.
Well, the one cool thing about, I don't know, are you familiar with Frontier Town in the Ocean City?
Driven by it. Never been there, but yes.
So a very, very, very long time ago, I won't spend a lot of time on this story, but when we graduated high school, Sam, Shorty, and I went down to Frontier Town, drove there on Memorial Day weekend with no reservations or anything like that. Just hopped in a car and went and bought like the last campsite that they had. It was rustic tent camping, and so we did that. So fast forward, Nell and I did a YouTube video there, and it was rustic but not. The bathrooms were pretty nice, and they weren't that far away from where we stayed.
And a lot of campgrounds have gotten to that point. They've been updating things. They've been making them nicer, a little more glamping.
There were showers. I mean, they were communal, but there were showers. But they also, one thing we want to go do there is they do have cabins and stuff. But right across from where we were, they had covered wagons, like an old wagon from like the Oregon Trail or whatever.
Yeah.
They had covered wagons that you can stay in. They actually have beds and, like I said, a bunk beds in them. So I think that would be fun also.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this.
Oh, boy.
But when I first started at the church, one of the pieces that even came up in my interview was, hey, we do Creation, which is this big Christian music festival every year, and we take as many students as want to go, and we set up a canopy and tents and shower, whole 9 yards, whole process. And that's something that they wanted to continue. So it was, okay, sure, if you have a system and you already know what you're doing, great. It was something I never really wanted to start up in a church. Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of logistics.
I've heard you talk about it in the past, and it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, and we did that up until the pandemic. And they tried to get Creation going up again after pandemic, and it kept faltering.
Has Creation died, or you just stopped doing it?
Creation has died.
Okay.
And there were some issues, like the year before pandemic, some things came out about the founder who, was doing... Yeah.
Okay.
Which is very problematic to bring youth groups to, and you're like,
for sure.
Well, we need to talk about that before we go now.
Yeah.
But it really was a neat thing how the logistics of it worked. That first year, I mean, I remember going and being like, all right, I'm hands off. You guys teach me how you do things. And again, that expectation, old Boy Scout, I'm thinking, all right, very rustic. We're going, you have a tent, you have your cooking station, and you have your water and latrine spots. That's it. They have we had a shower set up. We had a whole system and canopies and sinks that we would bring, and it was an impressive process.
Have you ever seen Craig's shower that he takes to like Tough Mudders?
No, I'm just assuming it's like a solar bag.
Yeah, I'm just curious if that's the type of shower you were.
So
that you're talking about.
No.
Oh boy.
This is one of those areas where Barry and I redneck engineered. So when I got here, the shower was this like 35-gallon blue barrel and a pump from Cabela's. And it would pump the water out of the barrel into the shower space, and the shower space was this rigged up pipe work with a tarp.
Very nice.
Open to the sky. So you're like, hi, NSA.
Wow.
But it worked. It held together. I'll share that story in a moment, but like So that first year though, the way they would heat it is they would get the big pots and fill them with water and just keep filling up the blue tank until the heat hit an equilibrium. And you normally knew that because someone was, it's too hot.
Oh, okay.
Which that first year happened to be me. I came out of it with like second-degree burns. I'm like, that's not going to be a thing again.
We can't burn the children.
Or the youth director.
Yeah.
But so Barry and I started rednecking engineering it, and we finally perfected it to the point where instead of, dumping the pot, we had a circulation pump in the barrel that ran the water from the barrel into a copper heat sink that was in the pot that we would heat up.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I know. You put Barry and I in a room, we will solve it. It will look like trash, but it will work.
I honestly wish that I could have gone along on one of these trips because
you would have loved it.
I think it would have been fun.
You would have loved it. And I mean, it was music and fellowship and time together and wild stories and moments. That Creation had a lot of good to it.
How long a period of time were you there when you went there? So it was like, it wasn't a whole week, was it? Or was it a whole week?
We would show up, we would pack everything up as much as we could on a Tuesday night, get on the road on a Wednesday, and then leave Sunday afternoon.
Okay. So
like almost a half week.
Yeah, 5 days-ish or so. Yeah.
Yeah, and the music festival was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
They had some stuff Wednesday night, but it wasn't
It was everybody getting there and things like that. And
And it was neat. I mean, Barry got the truck stuck one year. Now, admittedly, he got it stuck where everybody else was getting stuck.
So I guess it was just a rainy, muddy day.
Yeah, and I mean, we had years that were rainy and muddy. We had years that were roasting. We had, and this is a story I was getting into a moment before. It's the one moment that I have looked at and been like, well, I think I've killed everybody. We did creation, and a storm blew into the valley, and we had a microburst. It actually tore up what was the kids' tent, split this giant, like, circus-sized tent. So the storm blows in. I'm like, oh, crap. We're trying to hang on to the canopy that's starting to blow at like a 45-degree angle. And these are steel pipes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a wild moment. It really was. We wound up bailing out tents. A whole bunch of campsites got wrecked and canopy. It was...
I'm picturing... I'm trying to picture all this in my head. Barry running around and you running around.
Oh, we weren't running around. We were actually hanging on to the canopy, we're just like trying to keep it anchored to the ground. And how we anchored that canopy was we had like 18-inch steel rebar that had 6 inches above ground.
Okay.
And we'd pound those in, and then we'd strap the canopy down onto that and stick the pole on top of that. And the thing was not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's blowing at like a 45-degree angle, and the pipes are bending. I'm just, holy crap.
Is this a canopy the style of the one that gets put up?
It's the exact one.
Oh, okay. That's a big canopy.
It is a big canopy.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of us were just hanging on to it, just going, please don't blow away. Don't take us with you. But don't go away. This would kill someone.
Oh, my God. That's a great story.
There are a whole bunch of good stories from creation.
Just so you know, I know we always say that this is not scripted. I didn't think we were going to be talking about creation today.
Neither did I. I did not walk in here with that expectation.
I definitely wanted to talk about you being Santa Claus.
Yeah, how did we get here
camping.
From there?
Camping.
You
brought up the pool at the campground.
That's right.
And then I said, oh, do you guys camp? Do you want to camp? And then it went down this road. But it's one of the reasons why we tell guests, we ask a few questions, but we always tell them we let the conversation lead where it goes, because that's what happens right here.
Well, and the core question we ask, the one that is there every time, is, okay, what are like the no-go topics?
Yeah, do you have something you don't want to talk about?
Which, we're cool with. We're great. We don't need to know details.
Mm-mm.
But are there, and how, is there anything we need to know to avoid them?
Mm-hmm.
If they come up, we can, we'll just creatively edit.
Yeah.
Kenny will sing a song.
No. If you want people to actually listen to this podcast, I will not sing a song. But speaking of singing a song, so the guy, we were talking a little bit about this before. So I met a singer last night at the Lebanon Valley Craft Brewery right here in Lebanon, our hometown.
Yep.
And he was really good. The place was absolutely packed, so I went up and talked to him afterwards. And it turns out that you don't find many guys that are going around doing the cover solo artist full time. That's his job. Like he was telling me that he was doing 20 to 25 gigs a month.
That's a lot of gigs.
Right. I'm not even sure how. I mean, that's doing gigs like Mondays and what?
That's almost every
bars
day
and
of the
restaurants
week.
Are even doing like live music on those days of the week.
I mean, I guess you could double up, and if you get like 3 on a Saturday and 3 on a Sunday.
Yeah, I guess you could definitely do that. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, that's definitely a possibility. But he's a great guy. He's Central PA. He goes into Maryland, Delaware, he said, and I just wanted to give him a shout out because he was very, very. It was very awesome to talk to. And we even talked about him possibly coming on the podcast because he was enjoying the beers. So we were, yeah.
The number of people we're starting to connect with because of this podcast, and just be like, hey, come have a drink.
Come have a drink and let's have a conversation.
It's going to be a good year.
Oh, it's going to be a great year. So his name is Matt Jameson. Not, yes, like the Jameson, like the drink.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's got to be a drink we have.
Yeah, so I feel like if he likes Jameson, we should absolutely have...
if he doesn't, then, well, the rule also is the guest picks the drink.
I also told him that, so I was like, start thinking about it. And so check him out on Facebook. It's Matt Jameson Acoustic. He sits there, acoustic guitar, and he plays all kind of stuff. You can go on his Facebook page and see all the songs that he knows and can do. And so, yeah, if you have the opportunity and you see him somewhere or that he's going to be somewhere in Central PA, go see him because it's worth it. He was cool.
And I now follow him on Facebook.
Awesome.
There we go.
And speaking of the Lebanon Valley Craft Brewery, we also need to connect with them. But also tonight, not that anybody's going to be able to do anything about this when they're listening, but tonight they're very intriguing. They have a 4-person trop rock band there tonight. They're having like a beach. So they're doing Jimmy Buffett trivia this afternoon. And then they have a trop rock band there tonight from 5 to 8. And Lebanon Valley Craft Brewery does not have a kitchen yet. So you can literally just roll into like A&M, get a sub, and roll in, get some beers, and listen to the music.
I got to admit, A&M and their subs, or their cheesesteaks, A&M does some good food.
Dude, I had one. We had one this week. I got one, and I opened it up, and I'm like, if I eat this whole thing, I'm going to feel like trash the rest of the night. I can only eat half of it.
They're good, though.
Yeah, it was like $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they use the pizza dough as the bread. Oh.
They're just a Lebanon
staple.
Yeah, they're a Lebanon institution. And so if
you live in A&M, if you live in
Lebanon, you live at A&M, that wouldn't be bad.
That too. Well, yeah, what I am losing weight. Dang it, that would stop that.
Oh yeah, so somehow that rolled into a shout out for A&M. But yeah, Anthony is cool. He's actually a neighbor. He lives across Evergreen Road here. So
excellent.
Yeah, he lives right over there in the other development. So see him walking around the neighborhood sometimes. So. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got good food, so yeah, he's got to do some walking.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm hungry.
Well, Rob, I think we're going to wrap this up because I know you have to get to your Santa gig. See, that was really good.
That wasn't even a good one.
No, but it was good. It was good. I like it.
I woke up feeling a little froggy from all that yesterday. I was like, oh, great.
So how long are you doing that today?
I'm there 12 to 7 today.
That's a long shift.
It is.
Is there anybody else doing it, or
so? When I started the whole process with them, they were like, "Okay, can you do these hours and these days?" And it was, I can do most of that, but Sundays are just. My life was threatened that if I put anything on a Sunday between now and Christmas Eve, Robin would kill me.
You can't do that. I mean, with your job, it's impossible.
Sunday is my Monday.
It's impossible. Yeah. It's
So
impossible.
I go to church, and then we have. Youth group in the evenings. It just Sunday is a wash.
Yeah. So do they have somebody else to do Sunday, or
they
just
do
not
apparently have somebody else who does Sunday.
Okay.
And I gotta admit, there's a part of me that's like, I have a little bit of a window of time tomorrow. I want to go see who they have. And am I a better Santa?
To see, you want to compare your Santa to that Santa?
Yeah, just a little.
Well, I'm gonna stop by and check you out today. I'm not coming to harass you or any of those things.
No, you're going to wait for Craig.
Yeah, well, but Craig and I will harass you, but he will be the instigator for that. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, I'm not going to come harass you, but I am planning to come to the mall today, so I will come, stop by, say hello, and maybe we can snap a picture or something like that if you don't have a big old line of kids. So,
we'll see.
So, was it busy last night?
Not really.
Not really.
I mean,
the mall's not exactly a hopping place like it used to be.
Right. So, and I interacted with 5 families last night. So, which that's one every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was also out late because of the setup stuff and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, so, it wasn't, you only started, you were only there a couple of hours, right?
I was supposed to be out from 4 to 7.
Okay.
So I was in the suit at like 3:45, but they weren't done setting up the cameras and everything, so they didn't have me out until it was like 10 to 6. So I was out for an hour. Okay. So we'll see what today is.
I assume this is a paying gig of some sort, or is it a volunteer position?
It is paying.
Okay.
I mean, it's nothing.
I'm certain you're not getting rich on it, but
no. So I know how much we had Santa in June, which is a great episode.
You should go back and listen to it.
I did repost it on Facebook recently.
Did you? Okay, well, good. It seems like that's the right time of year for that.
And I mean, you saw what kind of Santa he is.
Amazing.
And I know how much I am paying him when we do our church events, and I'm getting the church discount. So I'm nowhere near that bracket. I am
You
Mall
have
Santa.
to start somewhere.
I know. And I'm not in it for the money.
10 years from now, you're going to be raking in the money.
Well,
Just raking it in like leaves.
I started with saying, a couple people who Mel worked with found out that I was doing Santa, and they're like, so he's Santa?
Mm-hmm.
What can we do?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Be careful
okay.
with this. This may evolve into something that you weren't expecting.
Well, it's half the fun.
And that could be pretty cool, actually.
Kenny, we're 1 year, well, not even. We're going into season 2.
Yes.
It has evolved into something I did not expect, and I love every second of it.
Yeah, I don't know that I expected. Well, to be fair about this, you could have had your perspective on what is successful and what is not in a podcast at the year mark or almost a year mark is completely different than what mine was. Simply because I didn't pay attention to, Nell had her podcast, but I didn't pay attention to numbers or anything like that. So I couldn't have told you what was good, what was bad, what was indifferent. You had your podcast before with Lindsay.
Right.
And so for me, like anything sounded good. I think we're at a good point. I think you guys have made it clear that, our downloads and listeners is really good for this point.
I still don't know what to do with those numbers.
Yeah.
It's been a month.
Yeah.
And I still don't know how to express that because, wow.
Yeah, I think a lot of what people follow on YouTube, podcasts in general, is authenticity. And we honestly sit behind these microphones. We drink what we like to drink, and we are our authentic selves. Like, this is just us. If you meet us and you talk to us and you come on this podcast, this is what you are going to get. This is not manufactured.
What you hear is truly what you get.
100%.
Whether it's in person or there's a little less swearing on my part.
Yeah. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Most of the time when I'm in public. But yeah, I mean,
I don't think we've sworn in this episode.
we have not sworn this episode.
Which is awesome.
I
So
think
don't
you
have
tried to start it, which, by the way, I did.
I don't have to click on the little.
The episode that was, for your quality assurance, you, me, Nell, and Mel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you cut off that swear.
At the beginning?
Yeah.
I did not cut it off.
I didn't hear it.
Now, because I don't think we hit recording time.
Ah, okay.
It was at the very beginning.
And you were harassing me about that.
And it was at the very beginning. And when I started editing, I started hearing like I think it was Mel or Nell or something. Somebody said about, you said the big one, and somebody said that's what she said, and the whole thing.
That was Nell. But yeah.
But it was before Nell hit record because it wasn't there. So I did not edit it out.
You harassed me about using the big one up front. And I did, but it was in some manner of storytelling.
I try not to edit the beginning of the episode. I let it flow because if you're new here, whoever is controlling the record and not record button, we just start recording sometimes without headphones, sometimes without the microphone pulled out yet. We just start recording and let it flow that way.
Hey, and the fun of that is you don't know what you're going to walk up into in a bar if you're sitting down to drink with people.
100%.
And sometimes you walk up going, what?
Yeah.
So.
I've had some pretty awesome experiences just sitting next to people at bars. So.
All right.
We're going to wrap this up. Rob's got to go be Santa.
Oh, I can't do it. There we go.
And I love it. And I have to go do a little bit of shopping and go say hi to Santa.
Yeah.
So I'll be seeing Rob again in like an hour-ish or so. So
yeah.
Anyway, welcome to season 2 of The Drunk Squirrel.
And we never said it, but we were drinking Woodford today.
Oh, yes. We made it simple. Woodford. I'm drinking Woodford with a giant ice cube. Rob is drinking it neat. So in custom Drunk Squirrel Yetis, which there's stuff going on with merch. So anyway, we'll talk about that in a future episode.
Absolutely.
Rob's got something cool cooking.
Yep.
I like it. So
cheers.
Anyway, cheers. Thank you for listening to The Drunk Squirrel.
Thanks for listening to The Drunk Squirrel. No need to pay a tab. Just be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and drop us a line, thedrunksquirrel82@gmail.com. Cheers.